talk to me about your automation with your delivery packages. Like, have you been? I know we were just talking about it before we were recording. Were you able to solve the problem? Or give us a bit of an explanation of what's going on.
Well, this is one of those things where I had 17 track for years and it worked just fine. And the way it used to do it is that there's 4 or 5 states, the waiting to ship, the not found, the in transit delivered. I think maybe an error in delivering. And there used to be a sensor for each one of those. And that sensor would
Okay.
have an array of the package information. And it got re architected fairly recently to where each one of those things is just a sensor with a number. And to get the package information, you have to call the get packages action. And this is one of those. This is one of the biggest frustrations I've ever had in 5 years of using Home Assistant, was getting all that together, because there's an example on the 17 track page at the Home Assistant site that it does not work. Like, there's a mishmash. The example has got like some information from previously and some information from now, and it just needs to be redone consistently. And I just couldn't get stuff together. And finally, what I ended up doing is I found in a pull request to that page where somebody had updated an example, and that pull request has never been accepted. In that pull request, it had an example for an automation to call that get packages action and then get that information. And I did it, and that part works, right? The get packages call worked and correctly got it. Now, the finishing that linkage between that and showing it on the screen was like this ordeal that does not seem like it should be as hard as it was, but it was hard. So then I created an input variable to put that in there. And it just didn't do any. And I'd run the automation, nothing would happen. Like, the input variable's not set. And I commented out everything except for a maybe delivered, and it showed up. And I'm like, why is delivery showing? Like, why is it? And then I realized, oh, the max value of this is 255 characters. And if it's
Right.
more than 255 characters, which it is, if you like what I'm trying to do, almost always is going to be more than 255 characters. And if it's bigger than that, it doesn't throw an error. It just doesn't do anything. It just silently does nothing. And so I tried various ways. I don't even remember the name of the Saver. The Saver integration. It lets you do.
Oh.
It lets you either keep the state of entities over time, but it also has a more robust input variable of indeterminate
Okay.
size. And so I'm only using that variable portion. So I'm writing to a Saver variable. And then on my dashboard, I'm showing that value. So I have every 20 minutes, I have a automation that updates the states of my packages, and it writes it to that thing. And then that thing is what I show on my dashboard, and also what I show in terminal, right? That same kind of like markdown formatted list. But and this was also complicated by the fact that 17Track, the mobile app, has a feature that is helpful and not helpful at the same time, which is if you get logged out of your 17Track account and you add tracking numbers, it will continue to work on your mobile app. Your mobile app will continue to track it. However, what it's not doing is putting them in your account because you're logged out. So I, for the longest time, thought the integration to Home Assistant was not working because it had the same 2 packages from last November up until 2 weeks ago. And I thought, I uninstalled the plugin, I uninstalled the integration, reinstalled it. It still had the same 2 integration, or the 2 packages. Then at some point I logged into 17Track from my web account solely while I was trying to do all this stuff. And I logged in there and I saw the same 2 packages, and I thought, wait a second, 17Track only knows about these 2 packages. And I look at my mobile app and I go to the account and it says, the login button. I'm like, I'm not logged in, and I haven't been logged in for almost a year. And that's why nothing ever updates in Home Assistant, because I'm not updating my account. I'm just updating the mobile app. It's like, oh, you've got to be kidding me.
That sounds like it's got to be a bug or just something nobody has noticed, right? Just like logic that.
Well, I mean, if it wasn't for Home Assistant, it wouldn't even matter, because on my phone, I'm still getting the information I expected to see. It was just that
Mhm.
last linkage to other things is where it fell apart. So minus Home Assistant, I would still be not logged in and I'd just be fine. And I wouldn't know there was even a problem. So it was the only thing is trying to, update your account. And then when I did log in, I couldn't use the integration for a couple days because it put 300 things in there and maxed out my API, and I couldn't use the API until my usage limits reset. so, so it took everything that was on the mobile app and shoved it into my account, and then said, "Nope, you can't add anything else today."
That's
It's like,
funny.
so that whole thing was just, it was it was so much harder than, this seems like one of the more simple things that I was doing. It's like, I just want tracking information, and it's so much harder than dealing with my car charger and dealing with all these bizarre logic. I was like, the you have to just go into, like, I had to, like, go back to junior software engineer, debugging a big system I didn't quite understand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna come out everything and see what happens. And then I'm just gonna
that's
put things back
funny.
in one by one. And that's how I thought, well, wait a second. If there's only this one thing, it works. Why is that? It's like, oh, the input variable. And then, it's like just
Yeah,
step
yeah.
by step. And it's like, every step is like this slog of, like, why is this not working? Why is this not working? And so this is the thing. Like, I probably, somebody smarter than me would have figured it out faster, but I imagine many, many people would have never figured it out, right? Because who has the time to spend 4 hours debugging their 17 track?